Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American sovereign wealth fund.
So Donald Trump just signed the unthinkable. And the reason why this is such a big deal is because sovereign wealth funds invest globally in various asset classes like stocks, bonds, real estate, infrastructure, and yes, even cryptocurrencies, leading a lot of people to wonder, is this the first step towards a crypto reserve? And while people are thinking that Trump destroyed Canada with the tariffs, well, Trudeau handed out billions of dollars to other countries while Canadians are standing in line at food banks. Now, if you're Canadian, comment in the description below what it's like up there in Canada with when this guy was in charge, because in the last year, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has provided direct cash aid to the Clinton Foundation for $600 million, Hamas $350 million, $2 billion to Pakistan, $1.4 billion to Libya, $397 million to Egypt, to Mexico, to Russia, to Haiti, Jordan, Kenya, Sudan, Nigeria. The list goes on and on and on. In total, Canada spends over $5 billion a year on direct cash support on foreign aid and $20 billion on immigration and refugee programs. Now, it sounds very similar to what Biden-Harris was doing, donating a lot of money to Ukraine. So with Trump coming in, issuing these tariffs, of course, that caused a short-term panic in the market. But now look, over the past 24 hours, we're seeing a lot of these projects recover, most of them up 20 to 30%. So in this video, what we're going to discuss is what's happening right now in the crypto market for Bitcoin, my expectations over the next few months, and even for the rest of this cycle, what's taking place on the XRP price chart right now compared to the past, and a key thing that you can look at on the chart to understand when is the best time to buy, when is the best time to sell. And also we're talking about the Bitcoin dominance compared to Total 2, which is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin, and what this means for the altcoin market and how you could prepare to make the most amount of money possible the rest of this bull run. So you guys are gonna love this video. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed. If you're feeling bullish, let's run it.
It's a very exciting event. We're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, which we've never had. We have a lot of things that create wealth, and you're seeing that over the last 2 weeks. I think we've created more wealth. Other people have created de-wealth, the people, my predecessors. We're creating a lot of wealth. Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Yes, sir. This is very exciting. We're going to stand this thing up within the next 12 months. We're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices that's done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets, assets that we have in this country as we work to bring them out for the American people.
The extraordinary size and scale of the U.S. government and the business it does with companies should create value for American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together, I think Scott and I will create an amazing sovereign wealth fund for you, sir.
So other countries have sovereign wealth funds, and they're much smaller countries, and they're not the United States. We have tremendous potential in this country, tremendous. You're seeing that, what's happened just in a short period of time. And as an example, TikTok, we're going to be doing something perhaps with TikTok, and perhaps not. If we make the right deal, we'll do it, otherwise we won't. But I have the right to do that, and we might put that in the sovereign wealth fund, whatever we make, or if we do a partnership with very wealthy people, a lot of options, but we could put that as an example in the fund, and we have a lot of other things that we could put in the fund. And I think in a short period of time, we'd have one of the biggest funds, and some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of like the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it. But we're going to create a lot of wealth for the fund, and I think it's about time that this country had a sovereign wealth fund, and these two gentlemen and some others are going to work with them very closely, and they'll be heading it up, and they're going to do Great job. Two highly respected people that have done unbelievably well in the world, in the real world. So that's a big deal, huh?
So the amount of chess moves that Trump has made his first couple weeks, I don't even think we're 2 weeks in to him being sworn in, is absolutely insane. And now with him considering a 10% tariff on European imports, he's arguing that Europe hasn't reciprocated the same trade benefits that the US has given them. With this news, we're seeing the law of diminishing marginal utility kick in. And essentially what this means is marginal utility tends to decline as consumption of a commodity increases, or in simple terms, it just means market desensitization, or being desensitized basically. And what that means is when an announcement is made, the first announcement, especially if it's something highly impactful like tariff news, which is a major policy change, well, it leads to a sharp reaction in the markets. It's because investors and traders react to new information by adjusting their expectations, which affects asset prices, leading to volatility. So that news came out, Bitcoin crashes from around $100,000 to $91,000. But we saw this bought up aggressively as Bitcoin has come into this zone of demand before 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times since the 26th of November. So this is a very strong buy zone as we range between resistance and support. Now, some news has come out here about Bybit following suit with Binance, restricting their liquidation data. A very unfortunate trend. It goes against the spirit of blockchain about, transparency and users not having the right to obtain public data to be able to verify, not just trust that these exchanges are playing by the rules here. And everybody knows that market makers, will trade against what they see on liquidation heat maps. For example, right here on coinglass.com, you guys can check this out for yourself. This shows the futures liquidation heat map because there's a lot of traders that have leverage orders, whether they be longs or shorts of the market. And you can sort based on, 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, 1 week. So if we just zoom out over the past week, you can see on the left-hand side of the screen in terms of millions or even billions of dollars, how much leverage there is at certain price points. So at about $106,000, there's about $95 million in leverage. And so the majority of this gets liquidated when the price pushes past it. So you can see to like $108,000. So there was a lot of liquidations to the downside of people that were longing the market that had their liquidations, set at like what? $95,000, $93,000 all the way down here that were stopped out of their positions. And so when these flash crashes take place, well, then traders lose their lunch that aren't holding spot. And spot just simply means you're buying on Coinbase and you're just holding. You're technically not losing money when it goes down until you sell, right? Because your portfolio just fluctuates. Whereas on leverage, you can get liquidated and you lose all of it. So when the price bounces back up, you're sitting there holding no bags anymore because the market makers, the exchanges essentially took your money. So CoinGlass posted this saying now Binance needs to disclose all liquidation data. Binance restricted their liquidation data around June of 2021, and CZ believes that too much liquidation data will affect their perpetual contract business. Now, this is very shady because that could be him subconsciously saying it will reveal what we're doing behind the scenes. And on the other hand, too much liquidation data will cause widespread media coverage and attract the attention of regulators. Interesting. Maybe he doesn't want the regulators to see what they're doing to trade against their holders. So transparency of data is at the core value of blockchain. So while people are blaming Trump for this, really they should be looking at the market makers and the exchanges like Binance. But this is as to be expected during the biggest bull run in history, where we have the crypto president Donald Trump in the market. We got institutions like BlackRock in the market. Expect manipulation to be at an all-time high because the institutions and all the big money is here. And that's where the markets get the most manipulated, when all the billionaires are playing. So when there's a lot of money on the table, expect things to be rigged. So how do you play a game that is rigged? Well, you understand how they play the game. And how did the elite play the game? They play it on the macro, not on the micro. So on the micro, 24 hours ago, everything was in the red, bleeding out, and you're wondering if you should sell your portfolio. And I said in my previous video, I wasn't worried at all because I understand the manipulation. Now, we don't know when they'll manipulate the markets. These flash crashes happen all of a sudden, and you think it's based on one piece of news, like tariffs, when it could be based on what Binance is doing and what CZ is doing behind the scenes, kind of like the next Sam Bankman-Fried, or the most generous billionaire that is liquidating everybody. But either way, you play the game in decades, not in days. So when you're in doubt, you zoom out. And so if we look at what's recovering the most, if I just refresh coinmarketcap.com right here over the past 24 hours, we can see XRP bounce 37%, the strongest recovery out of everything in the top 10. SUI's doing well, HBAR's doing well. I don't see anything as I scroll down here that's up. Ondo, real world asset. So Ondo's doing better than XRP over the past 24 hours. Mantle's doing better as well too. So there's a lot of great projects that are recovering right now. So drop a like on this video if you guys accumulated that dip, if you were able to back up the truck. If you didn't, then there's going to be plenty more opportunities to be able to accumulate on the way up. Now, the last opportunity here to be able to grow more income in your portfolio actually expires. It might be expired by the time you're watching this video because February 4th is the deadline for the Visa MasterCard deal. They lost to 5.5 or 5.6, somewhere around there, and some change, right? When you're dealing with billions, 100 million is change, but they lost a multi-billion-dollar settlement, and the deadline to apply to see if you qualify is February 4th. So I'm uploading this video Eastern Standard Time right before midnight. So you might have 30 seconds. I don't know. So when you click the link in the description below, go through this page. It explains everything about it. And you just click claim funds right here. You fill out the form. You have to have processed payments between, I believe, if we go back here on this page, it says 2005 to 2019. So for 15 years, if you process Visa or MasterCard payments, you may be entitled up to 1.5% of what Visa and MasterCard took from your business. And so we've helped businesses get back around $5.4 million. And this isn't going to be the exact number. It's going to vary once the claims get paid out, but it's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be millions of dollars. And so all these companies have processed, and that's 364 companies, $433 million. And so this doesn't cost you anything to apply for, and all of the details are below. So check that out. But the main thing that I want to dive into in this video is the macro market outlook, because to play the game in decades, not in days, I know you might be like, well, I want to make money tomorrow, or I want to make money next month. Where are we going over the next 24 hours or the next week? Well, look at this. The Bitcoin stock to flow model right now, we're transitioning from dark orange to light orange and eventually to yellow. So I posted this on Twitter right here compared to the last few cycles. The previous cycle, 2020, 2021, when we went from orange to yellow, right where my mouse is right here in the middle of pro, we were roughly right around this phase right here and even a little bit higher on this pullback around $40,000. Then we topped out at yellow, we transitioned to light green, and then the peak for the market was lime green before the bear market kicked in. Look at the cycle before then, 2016, 2017. After Bitcoin's halving, when we transitioned from orange to light orange, we saw some volatility, but to yellow, we rallied all the way up to stock to flow line, a pullback, and then lime green was the parabolic blow off top. Even the cycle before then, it's some differences here, but there's a clear cut thing that I can see right now on the macro, and that is the top of the market is around lime green. Okay. Very, very simple. So where are we right now? Are we at lime green? Are we at yellow? No, we are at light orange. So that tells me that the top is not in. Really simple, right? And you guys can go to bitcoinmagazinepro.com. You'll see a bunch of other things on the left-hand side as well too, like the 200-week moving average heat map. We can also see the golden ratio multiplier, the pi cycle top indicator. So I think this is a really great website to be able to do your own analysis, because the goal of these videos is to help you do your own research, right? And as always, it's not financial advice. I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell anything. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing with my portfolio, and I've been holding this entire time, because as global liquidity, M2, increases, well, the crypto market follows suit with that. So we're playing a liquidity game on the macro. And this is why XRP is such a desirable cryptocurrency, because it's going to be used to solve that liquidity problem between banks, right? Everyday meme coin traders or DeFi traders on Solana and Sui or these other blockchains aren't Ripple's clientele. Their clientele are the massive banks. And so for XRP to be used to solve that cross-border liquidity problem long term, it's going to be desirable even more desirable than it is thus far with the run up from 50 cents to $2 to $3 when they win the lawsuit. They've already won it, but when the lawsuit's officially over and the SEC finally throws in the towel, waves the white flag, or it gets thrown out, we'll see how long it goes for this year. But then the XRP ETF comes, Ripple stablecoin is out there. They're going to get listed on more exchanges, and then Ripple could potentially be IPOing as well too. So just lots of bullish catalysts are coming, and this is why we saw XRP recover fast from this wick all the way down to $1.77. Massive, right? Massive sell-off. And so it was disgusting, scared a lot of people. But look how quick that got bought up. And now we're back at $2.77, resting on top of where we rallied all the way up to on the 3rd of December when everyone was stoked out of their mind. Rallying up to $2.70, we're at that same level. So it's funny how sentiment changes, where $60,000 during this bull run is not it. No one really cares, as they were stoked out of their mind buying Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs and mortgaging their house for a picture of a rock, at $60,000 during 2021's bull run. So sentiment can change over time because of desensitization. I can barely say that word, but desensitization, right? So people get desensitized when we rally up, we consolidate, we rally up, then we come back down to the same level that we initially rallied up for. So how many people can you remember were stoked all the way over here that right now are kind of scared? They're a little spooked because of that sell-off, because they don't know what's coming next. So what I look at is the data. I look at the charts. Emotions are fickle, because 24 hours from now, people are going to forget that the tariff news ever even happened, right? And 1 week from now, people aren't even going to remember it, right? Do you guys remember what was happening here on the 30th of December? Nobody does, okay? So emotions are fickle, so we have to look at the data. So one thing that I've circled on the chart is great entry points for XRP. And then also I put up the stochastic RSI here on where we were for the K line and the D line. So let me move my camera right here. And where I look at, we're on the daily right now. So the more macro the time frame, the stronger the signal, depending on where we're at in overbought or oversold conditions, right? So I accumulate when we are oversold. What does it mean to be oversold? Well, it means when the key indicator is below a certain level based on what we're looking at. So the stochastic RSI, the level that we're looking at, is 20 for the K line in blue and the D line in yellow. So right now, the D line's at 7, the K line is at 16. We are below 20. Now, obviously, if you were able to accumulate $1.77, that's probably the best entry point. But looking back in the past, right here on the 9th of December, where was the K line and the D line? Below 20. Right here, XRP was at $1.95. Where was the K line and the D line? Below 20. Right here at about $2, where was the K line and the D line? Below 20. Now, when we go below 20, it doesn't mean that the price is necessarily going to be at a dip, because right here, you guys can see on like the 6th of December, the D line just crossed below 20 right here at the bottom of the screen, and the K line was all the way down at 2, but yet the price was right here at $2.40, and so we rallied all the way up, and then we crashed down to $1.95. I'm just talking about relative to the macro, right? When you zoom out, and you see where we have been on the price chart every time that we've been below 20 on the macro, any price point between $2.68 to $1.97 on the macro, you would be in profit right now, okay? So currently right now at $2.77, as XRP works its way back up into this bull flag right here, we could potentially see the price, come back down. In fact, I would expect the price to range inside of this channel between resistance, this descending resistance, and descending support. The candle body closed within this channel, which tells me that XRP is most likely going to chop for a period of time. Maybe we see another back test of this range. That would be another flash crash. We don't know what Trump's going to do next, because he's kind of a loose cannon. He's a wild card. He could announce some news tomorrow that they're going to send a missile over to another country if they don't follow his rules. We don't know. He's a power player. He's making these chess moves. So, I would just expect us to range between resistance, $3.40, and support within this zone right here. So if we see another flash crash within this zone, I personally will have limit buy orders ready for that. If we don't, and we just consolidate within this channel between resistance and support and inevitably break to the upside, well, then I would expect eventually the stochastic RSI to move past 20 for both the K line and the D line as well too. So anything below 20 on the macro, in my opinion, is great. And the reason why is because look at this chart right here. And I've circled on the price chart compared to the stochastic RSI with these vertical yellow dotted lines here, where XRP's price was and where the stochastic RSI was at the best possible entry points for XRP back from May of 2017 until December of 2017, before XRP broke upwards from 20 cents all the way up to $3 really, really quick. Look at how fast that happened, right? You had over 200 days to accumulate XRP, and then when it broke out, you had 23 days for it to do a 12x, okay? So when XRP breaks out, it breaks out fast. When it consolidates, it takes a long period of time. That was over 210 days of consolidation, that bull run. Whereas right now, if I were to move this right here, we are roughly, it says 64 days from the 3rd of December, but if I move it back a day, it's, 63 days, right? So we're only a couple months into this consolidation. So this could last a lot longer than people think as we went through something like this. So to accumulate at the best price point, you can look at the stochastic RSI, you can look at the MACD, the relative strength index. There are some other key indicators, but these are some of my favorites that I use, right? So on the daily, we can see when XRP's price rallied from 40 cents and crashed all the way down here to 13 cents on the 27th of May. Where was the stochastic RSI? It was all the way down here for both the K line and the D line. Right here, when XRP's price was at 12 cents, we were roughly around 20, right? If, let's say, for example, you were to buy all the way down here, well, XRP's price was at 15 cents. And so, not as good as 13 cents, but still pretty good on the macro, right? We rallied up and we saw a double bottom, and then we saw the stochastic RSI work its way on out of here. So still relatively good entry point. The next point was right here on the 19th of August. We were all the way the lowest the stochastic RSI could have gotten at that moment. The next point was right here at about 16 cents, stochastic RSI all the way down here. Right here, we were at about 18 cents. Look at the stochastic RSI all the way down here, formed a bullish cross. And then the next point, the 8th of December, we were all the way down here. So on the price chart, you can see great entry points, right? Also, we were forming higher lows as well too. If we were to just draw a loose line right there, bouncing off of this ascending support, we were also forming a descending resistance as well too from the complacency stage right here on the 30th of May. So getting rejected from resistance, coiling up right here. The last time to enter XRP was on the 8th of December of 2017 when we were all the way down here on the stochastic RSI. And so, sure, the stochastic RSI could dip a little bit lower and we could stay below 20 for an extended period of time, kind of like we saw from the 6th of December until the 1st of January. But once this thing shoots back up above 20, don't be surprised if price doesn't come down to these lows again, because right here on the 31st of December, XRP's price went from $2 to $2.50, and then formed this little bull flag right here with lower highs, lower lows, but it didn't come back down to this zone of support, and it pushed all the way up to a new high and made a new all-time high. And so my expectation is when this breakout happens for XRP, we break out, we form a new high, and then we form a temporary bull flag before continuing the uptrend. And when I think XRP is going to make the majority of its gains is when Bitcoin's dominance drop. Now, we saw Bitcoin's dominance rally up to like 63, 64%. It did fake everybody out. I thought Bitcoin's dominance was just going to consolidate and then drop off a shelf. But look at the chart right here. Look at what happened last time Bitcoin's dominance peaked out. When that peak comes in and the high for Bitcoin's dominance is done, if we just saw it right now, well, then we could be on the verge of one of the biggest altcoin bull runs in history, because look what happened after that took place. Right? I'm not too focused on the day-to-day. I'm focused on the week-to-week or month-to-month. So right now we're on the weekly chart. On the top of the screen, you see Bitcoin's dominance. What percentage of the total market cap of the industry Bitcoin holds? On the bottom, we see total 2, which is everything other than Bitcoin. And so look at where total 2 is at, $1.28 trillion. The all-time high is $1.7 trillion. So we're below the all-time high, very similar to where we were at this level back here in like December and January of 2020 on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. When Bitcoin's dominance found its peak, that's when altcoins took off. Now, it's not a matter of if, in my opinion, altcoins take off and make a new all-time high. It's when and how high we go, because there's more dilution, meaning there's more altcoins. For example, if you go on coinmarketcap.com, we can see last bull run, there was like 20 or 30,000 cryptos. Now you can see 10.74 million. There's like, I think 20, 30, 40, 50 million or somewhere around there that aren't even listed on CoinMarketCap. These are the ones that are listed here. Imagine DEX tools, imagine DEX screener. There is so much more dilution in the market that it's going to be a lot harder for certain altcoins to see as big of gains. So my thesis and my opinion is that the Made in America projects, the utility driven ones, we're going to see a flight to utility long term. That's why I'm so bullish on XRP. That's why I've positioned myself to make content every single day about XRP. And XRP is one of my favorite cryptocurrencies. Now, obviously, I'm bullish on Solana too. I do have some Dogecoin, bullish on Chainlink, bullish on XLM, bullish on Sui, bullish on HBAR. Shiba Inu, I think last bull run was Shiba Inu's time to shine. This bull run, I do think there are other meme coins like Floki or Brett, or even like Fart Coin, which our research team called at like 9 cents before it rallied to over $1 billion market cap. That's why you guys should join Altcoin Pro University, because we're going to spot these projects that are going to be the movers and shakers this bull run. But when Bitcoin's dominance does roll around, inevitably it will, then that's when we're going to see the ignition get sparked and, the market cap of Total 2 absolutely explode past $1 trillion, inevitably $2 or $3 trillion. And then once we transition from yellow to light green, just like we saw happen the last few bull runs, like even right here, guys, go back to 2017 at the bottom of the screen. When we transitioned from yellow to green, we saw a little consolidation, a little sell-off right here, then the blow off top for lime green. Same thing for 2021. From May of 2021 till July, we saw this sell-off consolidation from yellow to light green, and then the blow off top. And so the blow off top was a higher high, but it wasn't as parabolic as the previous cycle. So maybe this cycle, it's a lower high for lime green. Either way, we'll see. But nonetheless, we are still below the all-time high. And we also wicked off of this ascending support when we connect it from September 2023 until August of 2024. So on the macro, things are looking great. And also looking at Total 2 right here, the way that this works is the markets move based on levels, right? So when we break a range in ranges, right? So the market can be trending or ranging. It's either trending up, trending down, or ranging sideways. And so, for example, during a bear market, we are macro trending down, forming lower highs and lower lows until we inevitably find a bottom. Then we range between resistance, support, resistance, and then we don't come all the way back down to support sometimes within a range. But the support was all the way down here at 430 billion, the resistance at like 680-ish billion dollars. Once we break a range, we form a new range, which is a new resistance, and then the support is usually where the previous resistance was to back test it multiple times as we chop sideways. And then we form a new range, new resistance, and where's the support? On top of the previous range. So you can see even the wick came all the way back down here on the 5th of August, which was the high in the resistance of the 8th of August of 2022 that acted as support on the 5th of August of 2024. And so then we build support on this range, and then we break out into a new resistance, and then we hold support on this range as well. So we did see the wick come back down, within $1 trillion, but the candle body is closing above this high of the 11th of March. And so in my opinion, also if we draw this ascending support, which is not as important, as the moving average is during a bull market, because typically what I would want to see this blue moving average right here. This is the 50 SMA. This red one is the 200 SMA. During a bull run, I would want to see the price stay on top of both the 50 and the 200, and I would want to see the 50 SMA stay above the 200 in red. So last bull run, what that looked like is the price staying all the way up above the 50, sometimes coming back down to test it as support. But this bull run on 2021 was parabolic once we broke the high. This one might take a little bit longer. We're seeing these longer consolidation periods than 2021, which is why people compared it more to like 2017. But look at how parabolic 2017 was. And so with dilution, more altcoins, we might see these rapid sudden moves followed by longer consolidations. And also, if we look at the stochastic RSI, the D line is at 32, the K line is at 21. We're in a downtrend ever since this bearish cross above 80 on the second, what looks like the 2nd and the 3rd of December, when the price chart peaked out at $1.67 trillion, right below the all-time high. But this is a good sign that we're below the all-time high. We're not like all the way up here at $2 or $3 trillion. That'd be a little bit more of area of concern that the bull run is getting closer to being done. We haven't even breached the high. And also what I would want to look for me to start longing the market on leverage, because in my opinion, I think we're just going to chop within this range right here, hold it as support, maybe come back down to this ascending support another time before breaking to the upside to retest the high, inevitably break the high. I would want to see the stochastic RSI come back down below 20, and then depending on how long we chop will determine what this looks like. Because as you can see right here, when we drop below 20 was on the 15th of April for the K line, and then on the 22nd of April for the D line, when the price was all the way up here at like I keep saying the price, but the market cap was at $1 trillion. And then you see we come back up, form a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we find support right here. And then look at the stochastic RSI. We saw a bullish cross all the way down here, and we popped back above 20. By the time we popped back above 20, we were at 50 when the market cap was at 800 billion. And then that was the launch pad to shoot off of the 50, even though we were a little below the 50 SMA, which caused a little bit of concern for people. So in my opinion, there's nothing really to be concerned about right now, other than the fact that the stochastic RSI is not down below 20 yet. I would want to see it down here. So that tells me there could be a little bit more chop on the horizon to the downside or sideways before we see the next movement in liquidity injection to the upside for the market. But nonetheless, our team is going to be here every single day providing top-notch analysis for you guys on top of live weekly calls, live monthly calls. All the recordings are back here. You just click on live call recordings through the link in the description below. You can watch every single call recording and attend the live ones just by going to calendar. The calendar, we have a call every single Monday and every single Thursday. So if you missed the Monday call, click the link in the description below, join Altcoin Pro University, watch the replay, and then to attend our live Thursday call, all you need to do is join before Thursday. Right now, I'm making this video Monday, February 3rd, and then you can attend every single call every single month on top of all the other value that we have inside of here with over 1,200 members for only $97 a month. And if you're unhappy for whatever reason or you don't get any results, then under no contract, no commitment, you can pay as you go. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you pay for annual, it's $970 a year. You save $194 and you unlock exclusive bonuses such as the 2-hour portfolio deliberation training showing you how to construct a successful portfolio coin by coin, our crypto tax mastery course, which is 13 training videos from our certified tax CPA and tax planner. I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax planner, but we have one in the back office for you guys. And our vision is to set the gold standard in crypto education. So we have 100+ expert curated classes, live weekly calls, daily market updates, altcoin picks, technical analysis, all of that good stuff. When you go in the back office here, you click on community and classroom, you can see everything. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the tariffs and what Trump is doing is bad or it's good for the economy? And what cryptocurrency do you think they are going to add to the sovereign wealth fund first? Do you think it's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, or something else? I'd love to hear from you. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.